do we have today? The Great White North. This is definitely a large one. In the top 5 for sure. In fact, there's 3 that are about 8 to 9 million square miles. Canada, United States, China. And this is the first of the final 5. So let's get started. We are definitely going with Sundial. We've got a lot of work to do. Fortunately, this should make quick work. Now, Canada. Who really cares? I mean, what? What do you got? What do you got that someone else doesn't? Maybe oil, you know, a decent supply. Let's just light this up. There's some rare earth metals, you know, you got some uranium, that's useful. Yeah, we're gonna just space it out. We know how this works. There is a decent amount of space that is water, so that'll decrease the number necessary. We don't need to vaporize all of that because all of these are surface detonations, so there is nothing. You know what? We'll take care of that too. Dropping a sundial on half the lake. Yeah, that'll do it. Let's just make sure we take care of all of that. We'll just roll along this edge. We'll be careful to stay right on this because the USA will have its turn in the dust. Oh, look at that. That's oh, we're gonna remove Detroit. Yeah, that's important. One of the only United States cities to go bankrupt. That's hilarious. How embarrassing. You went bankrupt. Yeah, you know what you're doing there. You know what you're doing. Yeah, Montreal's gone. Coming up along Maine here. Maine. Yeah, I don't know why there's this separation here. Why not just take this for the states? What is Canada gonna stop you? What, there's the entire population of Canada is nearly the population of New York City. All right, line this up. No, I'm not leaving that space. We're not leaving that to chance. Get rid of this island. Yeah, that island would be covered. Bet I moved it better. Take care of that. Let's clean this up. Gone. Let's get the rest of this. Whatever that is. Nobody cares. What is this island? St. John's. The entire section just gone. What are we at? 17. You know, this might not take too many. That's what I thought. It's about twice the size of Brazil. Doesn't look like that. There's obviously different types of projection. Map projection, when you're trying to apply a sphere, a three-dimensional object, to a two-dimensional space. You have to choose what survives and what doesn't. What gets distorted and what does not. Alright. Southern border of Canada is clear. Yeah, there's no real reason to deal with this. I mean, this is just directly attached to the ocean. We're not taking care of the oceans yet, but we will. Although that that would be a significant calculation. Because with the surface, it's pretty easy to determine. With the ocean, though, there's depth, and most of the water is not skin deep. Yeah, that's a little too much along that coast, but we will assume with a more accurate alignment that it's fine. So we won't worry about that for now. This is gone. We just need to place these a little better. Now let's get a little refreshment. Lots of islands. Yeah. No big deal. It's a lot of area. Canada has such a low population. French, they want French as their language. It's not even from here. Yeah, we bombas. You don't even have escargot here. I mean, aren't your, like, provinces trying to separate? Some islands out here. I mean, I was pretty far north once, and the food was just... didn't make any sense. Like, who wants a surprise for breakfast? Nobody. Think that's funny? Eastern seaboard looks good. Yeah, that looks good. I don't know if Canada ever did atmospheric testing. It probably did. At least underground testing. I'll have to see if I can find any footage. Let's get a bigger picture here. Yeah, it's looking good. I mean, I'm sure we're going to be about double of Brazil. That was the largest to date. I think it was near, well, it was close to Australia. As far as square miles. Looking good. I don't, what province are we even at? Not that it matters. Trying to do this quickly. I mean, we are talking about total erasure of the surface, so it does take a bit. We were just talking about annihilation of organic matter. It would definitely take far, far fewer. But we want to make sure that it is non-existence. These inland bodies we will definitely erase. View here. You know, this is detailed work. It just takes time. Yeah, you know, it's looking good. We are nearly halfway already. I mean, once we get these lower territories, that's it. I mean, what do you got left? I don't know, whatever this is. Let's not let that stand. All right, that's better. Just make a line here. Zoom in a bit. Yeah, we've definitely reduced the calculations as far as effects because the sheer number required. Now, that's a little over the line, I guess. Yeah, that's quite an overlap. So that's a double tap right there. Definitely very low density. Just following the edge of Alaska. It's looking good. Let's head back down to central Canada. Finish this up. We got a few more to go after this. I mean, how many people in Canada actually go to the Northern Territories? Yellowknife. Not many, I'm sure. Alright, let's check this out. It's hard work stuttering over the destruction of kind of an inconsequential nation state. You gonna help out the UN? Alright. Looks like the remainder of the majority of the country. The hell is that? Gone. Let's space these out a little bit more. Some water, whatever. Again, we're not being too concerned about timing, distance, because it would definitely amount to totality with proper alignment. But again, these are fairly accurate numbers. And our absurd need to turn this into the surface of Venus requires this. Alright, we're filling it up nicely here. Whatever this unknown water is, turned to vapor. Hopefully with enough energy to separate the hydrogen and oxygen so that that could also self-ignite. Yeah, we're losing frames. I mean, that's expected. We're about halfway. Obviously, doing this much surface detonation would render the entire planet inert, but that's what we want. We want to erase each country. And in the end, we will certainly give you a sum of all. And then finally, we'll run the numbers to determine vaporizing all of the water. Yep, that's gone. Okay. Looks good. Jeez, I mean, the thing is, it's very distorted. Greenland is not larger than the United States, right? That's the problem. Mercator, polar projection, etc. Like this particular one, of course, the closer you get to the poles, the more distorted it gets. Alright, there's not too much left here. Let's wrap it up. I suspect we'll be in the high 200s. You know, 280 area, 250. We're still early on at judging this, and this is not a solid object. It's fairly broken up the further north we get. It's a body of water here that's now gone. I mean, it would probably be pretty interesting to live up here. You know, most of the modern world doesn't exist. And that's pretty cool. Because the modern world currently, it's pretty boring, pretty uninteresting. Oh, what are you gonna do? You're gonna have some software prompted generation entertain you? Like, how lame are you? It's a tool, peasant. Wake up. Now, I'm sure during the height of the Cold War, all of these calculations were formally drafted and submitted, and that would be some very interesting reading. Pretty sure that's where the band name Megadeth came from, i.e. a derivative of 1 million megaton, megadeath, giga, tera, beta, exa, zeta, yada, or something. That's what we need, man. A zeta ton bomb. Now, that would probably require 1 or 2. I wish there was something to calculate that. Visually represent it on a millimeter accurate scale. Real time, focus, zoom, playback, all of it. But what are we gonna get? Halo 7? Left 4 Dead 3? Yeah, right. Valve doesn't do 3s. We know that. Must be a Wiccan thing. Alright, let's see where we are here. Alright, we're closing the gap. Again, we're gonna skip any body of water connected to the ocean because it's not gonna matter. We're gonna have to make a few edits to clean this up. Not about position, just about delivery. Yeah, that's basically it. Okay, now we're getting to the polar regions. And that means the baby seals are going to be introduced to the sundial. And I don't think they'll mind because it's going to be pretty quick. Better than the track we're on. need quite a bit of space. Empty space. Empty space for empty heads. There's a few things that came out of Canada of note. I'm not going to note them for you. All right, where are we? Looks nice. Looks nice. Okay. This last part isn't going to take very long. It is distorted. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to calculate the square miles. I assumed it's going to be land mass, not total area, including bodies and interconnects of bodies of water, because that just doesn't matter. So we're going to have to use our best guess. No, not a guess. We're going to have to make some choices for this measurement. We're not going to include territories with water. It's going to be land mass. That's a little too big for my comfort. Yeah, you know, we're probably going to be the mid 200s. And the other thing is, because of the distortion of this projection, this type of map, we are probably going to need even fewer. Right, the most accurate land map completely separates the water like a orange peel pressed to the surface of a table. And that is definitely not what this is. So that will also distort our numbers. We could just use raw numbers, but square miles relative to the sundial, but I think a visual is a lot more appropriate. So even though the numbers will be further off as we distance ourselves from the equator, the numbers at the end of this video will represent closer to what it actually means as far as square miles. Because, I mean, the metric system is good except for miles versus kilometers, I think. The imperial units is superior as far as large distances. For granular measurements, definitely the metric system, so I use both pretty often. If I need human relative temperatures, I use Fahrenheit. If I'm referring to industrial temperature measurements, I would use Celsius. Or whatever the hell place this is, it's now in hell, or has become hell. Let's get one more refresh here once we finish this. It's done. Alright, the final island. Let's get a little cap here. I say island, but these out one at a time. This is good quality work. This is what God would have wanted. Let's back that up a bit. We know that's part of Greenland, so it's safe for now. Right, at new destination. Russia is gonna be quite an interesting country. It is double the size of Canada. I mean, when the USSR was still a thing, you know, it was largest landmass of a single empire in recent times. Recent because there's still contemporary relative history about it. I mean, if it only dissolved in 91, that's pretty much part of most modern memory. Is anyone worth their salt? Oh wait, this is it. This is it. Can't believe it. We're done. Wow. There you go.